Okay, welcome back guys. Good to be back on. So I've got another message I'll read off in a minute. It's a channeled message from the Galactic Centre. I channeled this morning. I actually had the intention of actually bringing some other information through. Often in a way that's what happens. But a great message. So just want to sort of touch on, what's going on at the moment, around the planet. And obviously there's if you're tuning in on a more sort of energetic level, you can feel this tremendous amount of sort of ebb and flow of oscillation of energy, where energy is going into the depths of despair and fear, but you've also got this other light energy coming on, which is sort of creating an oscillation, and it's interesting because the amount of fear that we're still trying to process is definitely coming up more on a surface level now, and you're seeing that. And the good way to notice that is, for example, obviously in England we have Freedom Day now, as we don't have to wear masks, but you go to most shops now, even down the street, people are still wearing masks, and most people have had the jab. So there's still, and this is nothing to do with COVID, this is to do with collective fear consciousness, that's trying to release itself, from thousands of years of being programmed and conditioned, not only obviously on a planetary level, but within our own life journey. And it's very interesting because obviously, the COVID sort of pandemic, it holds the space for something completely different. And that is letting go of these control mechanisms and this fear-based or sort of base chakra living. And as I said before in previous videos, they went from Brexit in this country straight into the COVID, and obviously other countries have got all their stuff going on as well. But there's always been this stimulation, and it's been really enhanced in the last 20 years. Really, probably since since the beginning of 2000, really. But there's been a lot of deliberate stirring of the base chakra to create that divide, creating servitude, to wear people out. And it's very interesting to notice that as consciousness is shifting now, it's bringing that into balance, and of course it's bringing light into the shadow self, and it's highlighting and obviously exposing things, but also in our own personal lives it's bringing the shadow to the forefront, and that's what you're really seeing now. And that's going to augment itself over the next 12 months as well. So really, it's if you're sort of, as we say, awakened or sort of aware, it's best to stay out of the drama and the human collective as much as possible at the moment, because it's very, very easy to get drawn in to it, and that can start depleting your immune system, your cellular system, your emotional body. So really, just it's just really important just to focus on the inward path at the moment while this is all going on, and then obviously the light will be reintroduced or will come back on full force, and in about 18 months, 2 years time. So it's an interesting time, it's an amazing time, but it's also very, you just need to be conscious of what energy you're putting out, because there's going to be a lot of unconscious frenetic energy moving around. You're going to see that in your family, you're going to see friends, you're going to see it in your neighbours, you're going to see it in your work, your social. So just be aware, because it's okay. I mean, it's all right, but you just don't want to be drawn into someone else's story unconsciously, because we still have these belief systems and magnetic patterns that will draw us in unconsciously, and we'll be attached to people, and we're like, why am I still talking to this person? Why are they still in my life? Because of these unconscious patterns, you see. Mind's driving you crazy. I need to get away, but then you keep getting pulled in. So just be aware that those types of things, there's an unconscious world going on that sets up everything. So again, that's what's coming up now, especially for people in this field. We understand people that are conscious and are moving with this energy. You can see it, and the best way to see it is to be detached from it. Because obviously, if we're caught in the collective consciousness at the moment, it's going through a massive shift and despair. So it's very easy to get pulled in. So we have to really strengthen that resilience to our own sense of self, really. But again, look, like I said, most of this is unconscious. You just need to set that intention in the morning. Whatever I need to learn, what do I need to be aware of now, what is playing out unconsciously. Show me, and just ask the soul and it will show you, because the soul again is trying to connect with every human being. Everyone's soul is trying to connect. So this is the grandest opportunity now to start setting those intentions in the morning, and then start becoming an observer of your life, and then you'll start to see the subtle changes, and you'll see the markers. A lot of people are seeing numbers at the moment. There's a big increase. A lot of people I'm talking to are getting a lot of numbers, synchronistic events. So a lot of people also starting to pick up. They're starting to see spirit. The peripheral vision is starting to open now. They're seeing things moving around. So the awareness is shifting. It's coming. So you just got to ask for more of that. Just keep going inwards, 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 and it'll all just play itself out, because the soul has an agenda. You just got to surrender to it. Okay, so I'm going to read off this message. So, greetings from the Galactic Center. We are pleased you have connected with us. We are many aspects in many densities and dimensions. We're formed as an alliance that holds a universal memory and construct. Our DNA, like your DNA, is wide and far, connected everywhere, and we want you to be conscious of your DNA going forward. There is a belief system around the telomeres of your DNA that has aided in your illusion. It has brought you the gift of separation and the gift of density. In fact, it has been the belief system that has kept this experiment in play. Without denial of what is, illusion can never be mastered. And so we want you all to love your denial, love your resistance, love your ignorance, because they are the foundational energies that this belief system has created. Many of you who are remembering their true selves may have some affliction in the bowel area, as these belief systems are wired into the birth canal, and they are a morphogenic imprint that imprints into your DNA in physicality. In truth, you have all been instrumental in the creation of these control mechanisms. Because after every great fall from your higher selves, you have become more lost, more susceptible to giving your power away to your shadow selves. And what we are now witnessing on your planet is an anger towards other non-terrestrial beings. And this is stirring as the ancient wounds are now surfacing. Many of you hold the memories of visitors from the stars and see them as instrumental in your earthly struggles. And to a large extent that is true. But you must also realize these visitors are aspects of your own consciousness. And this is why you are at war with yourselves internally. Why so many of you dislike yourselves deep down. And why you always blame, judge, and criticize yourselves. It is deep within your subconscious we wish to go and allow these memories to surface. In fact, you cannot move into a galactic family until you have resolved these feelings. Otherwise, what is an experience of love and bliss becomes an endless cycle of blame and disconnection. We feel your suffering, but you must allow these ancient traumas to release. There must be love towards your galactic family. You hold the history of battle of not only your own planet, but that of all of us. So in truth, you are now releasing your galactic trauma. And we understand that this is sometimes hard to integrate into a human mind consciously. But this is what's happening unconsciously within your soul bodies. And some of you will be feeling this in the coming year. You are moving at a monumental speed in your evolution, and you cannot possibly fathom the whole picture. But what you can do is give permission to your souls to release that which is ancient, which is unseen. In fact, this is the greatest service you can give yourselves right now. Too many people are caught up in their minds And if they took time to sit and cease all the chatter, they could start to feel what we speak of. Your DNA in some ways is just starting to activate and remember its universal heritage. And soon you will be in conversation with it consciously. A wave of immense sadness and fear is washing over humanity in service to you. It is asking that you acknowledge its frequency as part of the service it provided you in physicality, in the illusion. We want you to understand that you are being gifted now with internal freedom, and once acknowledged and accepted, will create a freedom in physicality, as within, as without. Universal truth, dear ones. Keeping to your old scripts will not bring you happiness or freedom. You must allow the soul script to ground itself in the here and now. If you continue down a path of misery, you will not find yourselves, and you are all aching to remember who you truly are. So start making little changes now towards what feels right and not what your old routine demands from you. We implore you to take time to discover yourselves. So, good message. Again, setting intention, everything's intention, and just acknowledging what comes up with love and gratitude, and just being in the moment with what you're feeling. And that way you are then a safe conduit for what needs to move through you. If you try to understand it, you can get disgruntled, you can get angry, you can get frustrated, and more importantly, you get confused because really you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, because we're so programmed, so conditioned. All we see is, tunnel vision, physicality. And even when you're spiritually aware, that you still have these unconscious programs pulling you on other levels. And we've had thousands of lives, so there's a lot of stuff to sort out and shift. So you just have to create space for the soul to come in and do that. So just start setting that intention, and then what will happen as well, it will start processing while you're sleeping. So definitely dreams will change as well, and other things will happen just energetically while you're sleeping as well. So you'll start waking up differently, as well, feeling different. And a good thing as well, a lot of these aches and pains that we have in our bodies will start to disappear, because those aches and pains are just messengers. They're just trying to tell you that there's something blocked. So so always talk to the body. You got a pain in your right shoulder, talk to the right shoulder. Okay, what's going on? Just acknowledge it, and what it will do is start getting the energy oscillating. Because the only reason dysfunction holds in the body is because it's not allowed to swing in oscillation. It gets polarized, unilaterally polarized. And that is because we haven't acknowledged it, we haven't accepted it, or we've judged the experience. And then judgment creates rigidity. So yeah, it's interesting. So just, like I said, we don't have to do too much with our minds. We just need to surrender in the moment, and everything will start to move through us very quickly. This is the problem, no one's talking about this on the news. If you just had the truth, human beings would just shift overnight. It'd be amazing how the planet would change. So again, this is all about the misinformation. So again, misinformation needs to release from our consciousness, from our DNA, from our cellular system. And that again, it just has to create space. The soul it knows what it needs to do with you. Your individual soul is a divine aspect of your own consciousness. So just give way to yourself and allow that conduit of energy to flow through you on a day-to-day basis. It's just intention, it's all you need. And just sit with it for 5 minutes in the morning and give space for that energy to start coming through, because the soul will push through the solar plexus, it'll move out into your auric field, and it will start controlling, taking charge, obviously in your free will, of what needs to happen. It's going to give you the best possible life you can ever imagine. Alright guys, so I will be back again maybe next week or the week after, just when it feels right to bring the messages through now. I'm not going to stick to any timeline. Okay, I will speak to you soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care.